unfortunately for him, it was like too big of surface area, too open of an area for, you know, Symbol to attack into. And of course, this is one of the reasons why Zerg are choosing this map against Protoss. It can be hard to get the right engagement in an area like that.
Well, Artosis, we're going into the King Sejong Station.
Alrighty.
Game number 3. Not a bad map choice for Billowy. Probably has a specific timing plan here, I would say. We have seen some players try to go air toss PVZ on this map. If you
we've seen a lot of Void Rays in the past couple weeks here.
Yeah, like Sentry, I mean not Sentry, Oracle into Void Ray on this map. It's pretty good. I think we might see that out of him, but probably
could be just +2 Blink Stalker too.
Yeah, that's quite popular here as well. That was the most popular build on this map at the beginning. Well, I think we'll see some sort of Billowy variation of one of these two builds. The winner of this goes to the winner's match here in Group K of the GSL Code S.
In the top left, taking that second game very well.
Symbol.
Man, my intros are not on yet.
Oh, look at that Billowy behind him. Billowy Hot 6 poster. To the bottom right, in blue.
Billowy.
And that Billowy player that he's playing against. MVP jackets are growing on me over time.
Are they?
Yeah.
They're okay.
They're not too flashy.
No. I'm not like super into them. I wouldn't wear one unless I was on MVP, I think.
Yeah.
And even in that case, I might just do the t-shirt. I like the King jacket.
Remember the old, yeah, the King jacket is good. Do you remember the old MVP shirt that was just like a black shirt that had white letters, MVP on it?
I think I do remember that.
I actually have that shirt.
Did you know when the team MVP was first formed, this really embarrassing thing happened? They came into the studio at GOMTV, and the player MVP went over and just started signing their shirts, thinking that they were fans.
Oh my god. That's so funny. The most valuable player.
Well,
oh my god, that's actually...
I made that up, but...
Really? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I'm like, that seems like something that could happen. Like,
yeah, right?
I mean,
he's like, yeah, I am. Oh, God, look at all these fans today. Some of these guys are even pros.
Well, you know, when the MVP team first started, it was like the biggest team. They had like 24 players living in 2 team houses, like all sitting in that big giant room on mats. Like that was what they were famous for. You remember players on that team like Tree and oh God, there were like 24 players actually, like with MVP shirts going to the Code Qualifiers. There were this massive group of players, and I can imagine if you don't recognize any of those people, a bunch of people with the shirt coming in, like you'd be like, yeah, because some of the fan groups you see in Korea, especially at Pro League, like there's this like, massive group of people with like some shirt they all made to wear, and it like actually could be construed as that.
All of my trolling is done so stone-faced and so calmly and matter-of-factly that it's okay for you to be tricked like this.
I mean,
I wish that it happened. Maybe it did happen. I don't know.
Maybe it did happen, and you're just like trying to seem like it's a joke, Artosis.
Yeah. Maybe I'm double trolling.
Well, double hatch for Pool again, and the drone scout. Oh, gets away. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fine.
That's definitely not going to catch him. Watch, he's going to try to head him off the pass. No. All right. I know a shortcut, says the Mothership Core. By the time he catches a drone across the entire map, it's gained enough health that it gets away.
Well, no, like, the drone's like at this point, the Mothership Core like turns on the overcharge and shoots it across the map.
Oh my. There's a Nexus up there waiting for him.
With Billowy, you never know. Ooh, look at that.
Well,
that's
you think it'll be like an Immortal All-In?
The thing is, he just like showed that right away.
Yeah.
That's confidence. I think it might be a sentry drop.
Really?
Yeah.
You think it might be a sentry drop?
It could be. Thing is,
he is making a sentry, so that counts towards your point.
The thing is that it's like the timing doesn't line up quite right. The more I think about it, he's only going to have like at best 2 sentries to put in the warp prison when it starts, because warp gate research isn't being done. He doesn't have additional gates, so like.
Well, I mean, if he chrono boosts the gateway nonstop and doesn't chrono boost the. I guess that's not the most efficient way to make a build, though, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, I don't.
Well, let's see. I think he might make a warp prison. It's definitely possible.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen sentry drops all on this map, and I think
you don't have to have 4 sentries. You can do something like 2 sentries and whatever else
warp
you
in
have.
additional sentries, too.
That's true.
As you get there, when warp gear research is done, so.
I mean, he does have some more gateways finishing. Maybe this is going to be some sort of sentry drop really quickly.
We've seen also a lot of zealot drops on this map at the natural, but it doesn't usually end up doing a whole lot.
Well, if the force field is blocking the drones, it would, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, just pure zealots.
Yeah, but
I think he's
maybe
going to do that, actually.
Well, yeah, could be. It looks like it's probably not going to be sentry-based.
I just don't see this doing a whole lot of anything, to be honest, at this point.
Well, you know, a Warp Prism can do more than damage. It can keep the opponent in his base. It can make the opponent make units, kind of like, you know, when you're faking an attack. Any sort of harassment is going to also force units out of your opponent. So, I don't know. We'll see what his plan is here. We have seen, like, some old school PvZ did involve just flying around with the Warp Prism while you make a Nexus.
He's going to time warp and do a zealot drop and try to kill the queen, and then I guess as many drones as he can get.
Okay.
There's the time warp. And he doesn't expect the zealots to run in, but there are roaches here, so could still get the queen, I guess, but that's all he's going to get.
I didn't get to see the health, but okay.
He's just going to
second queen incoming. He's got to get out of there.
Yep. Well, he decreased the mining of about 8 drones by 25% for a brief period of time there.
I guess that's pretty good.
Double Stargate transition, though.
Okay, so kind of a funky build that we're watching right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why.
Are we going to see Phoenixes, I guess? I mean, he's on 2 base. It's going to have to be Phoenixes to start.
Yeah. I don't know why these zealot drops are so popular on this map. We've seen this, like, I think this is like the 4th or 5th time I've seen this in this matchup.
Sometimes things work out really well in practice, and then you do it, and it just never works on TV for some reason. Like, people are playing at a more heightened level.
Yeah. And
that's actually, it's something that can occur. You know, if you're practicing for 12 hours per day, and, you know, 8 of those hours are EVPs on this map, a zealot drop is likely to do more than if you are literally focusing the hardest you've ever focused in your whole life on a game.
True.
And wow, it's not Phoenixes, it's actually Void Rays.
Double +1 Void Rays to secure a 3rd or to do a timing. I think
this is really weird. Well, he started +1 and +1, so I think he has to take a 3rd. Like, these upgrades, if he's waiting for these 2 upgrades to finish to do a timing, that doesn't even make sense, right? Like, the upgrades should have started way before the units.
Well, Symbol has a ton of roaches, and he's just chasing the Warp Prism around, but these Void Rays are going to be pretty key in the defense of this attack that's coming across right now, because they're going to eliminate the roaches pretty fast.
Well, they are, but a lot of Lings are being made as well, and Void Rays definitely don't fare quite as well against those.
No, definitely not. He's going to need some force fields. He needs to identify this, too, because he doesn't have a spotter right now. You can see the rocks, of course, but he doesn't know like what is on the other side. It could just be a few roaches. He doesn't really know what's coming.
Well, if he figures it out really quickly here, like if he actually glances over and sees, he should be fine. Now, oh, I love this 4-roach tech, because this is going to draw all of his attention over here. Oh, man. This is like, okay, he actually does see it. So with those 2 sentries, as long as he's quick, totally fine.
Yep, and a lot of these roaches will die to the voids.
He completely ignored these 4 roaches, which is actually the right choice. Wow, that was very well done of Billowy, I have to say.
Just sends 1 Void Ray over, that's all he needs.
That was very calm the way he's dealt with this, and that's what needed to happen, because against a lot of players, Symbol's little mind game there would have worked. He would have sent some units over to stop those roaches, thinking more might be on the way.
Great wall here, and Symbol is just trying to make this work. A few Hydras are about to pop out. He might actually kill this Warp Prism with those.
Oh, that would be a very nice kill.
And if he actually walks across the map with the Hydras and the Lings, with the roaches he already has, and attacks this base, he's going to do it first here right now. And some of those Void Rays out of their prismatic alignment. He needs a few more seconds on that. He's got the Immortal here, though, and I think he should be fine against this. And Symbol's
kill the
roaches,
but the Nexus looks like it is, in fact, going to fall. But that is a big chunk of army that he gave up for this, for sure.
And the Nexus can just be remade. Obviously, it's going to cost him some mining here, but I like the position of Billowy quite a bit. The one thing he's missing, though, is an answer for these Hydralisks. Because Void Rays are okay against Hydralisks, but they're not the best unit for him.
Well, you know, when he makes a few more sentries, it looks like he's up to 3, I believe, which is not that much, but he's getting charge as well.
Yeah, charge is going to help him a lot here.
He killed like 20+ roaches there, and that could be just all the roaches around for now. And if there's no roaches to tank the Zealots and help eliminate the Zealots quickly, then Zealot Void Ray actually can do fine against
yeah, with charge
Hydras.
especially.
Yeah,
right?
you throw in a Guardian Shield and a few Force Fields, and it does fine.
Yeah. So when I was playing the beta, like the very beginning when I started playing Protoss, I thought that the answer to the
You mean after they took out the Warhound?
no, like in Wings of Liberty.
Oh, okay.
I thought the answer to the Hydralisk composition was actually charge Zealots. I was like, well, they close distance really fast. That must be how you kill Hydras.
Well, if it's just Hydras, definitely charge Zealots do well against them.
Yeah, then I started to realize that Colossi are much better though.
Or they used to, especially before the speed upgrade. But anyways.
I mean, this is... There's no... Colossi here, and charge isn't done, but he's got this... I mean, he's got this big chunk of Void Rays. 8 of them, and Archon is here, the Mothership Core for Time Warp, and perhaps also that Nexus Cannon, whichever he chooses to use.
Well, right now he has split up his units, a decent group of Lings over here. They do break a pylon, so that's a little bit annoying.
He's out of position, too.
He's way out of position. Wow, that really did the trick, that little attack.
He's just going to break this down if he targets it.
I'm surprised he's not right-clicking those Hydras on the Nexus.
Yeah.
He's actually killing the gas. And that's a lot of health. The thing is, he could have killed possibly the Nexus and gotten out of here. It looks like he doesn't want to get out, though. He's actually going to go ahead and engage this. Now, the Void Rays split up a little bit, but the Zealots took a lot of hits and let the Void Rays go to town for a little bit.
Yeah, I think he's going to hold this now with the Immortal as well here on the ground. And there goes the Nexus Cannon. I think he could have gotten that and gotten out, actually, if he was a little bit more diligent about his control.
He was actually a little bit too confident in the strength of his army, it looks like. And because of that, he didn't target, like, specifically what he wanted to hit. He knew where the Protoss army was. If he skipped the gateway and the gas, he could have sniped the Nexus and possibly... He would have gotten at least the same engagement as he just got there.
Yeah.
Plus the Nexus would be dead.
Yeah, it's true. And I mean, maybe he loses some Hydras for it, but I think it would have been worth it. Warp Prism does go down here. It's not like he gets any kills, but that Warp Prism just kind of been floating around the whole game being annoying. The symbol didn't really falter in his defense against that.
Well, ooh, a
Infestors
Baneling Nest.
and a Baneling Nest,
yeah. Well, I mean, if your opponent is going charge a lot Void Ray, which is what it seemed to be to Symbol, because that's what it was a moment ago, that can be a very nice thing to mix in some Banelings, and of course he's getting Infestors, which will help as well, but...
The Baneling Nest barely costs anything, so... Okay, well, Baneling Speed's a bit more expensive, but I mean, if he saw later on with a Zergling or an Overseer, like, oh, okay, never mind, you're not building this comp, and he could just easily be like, oh, I won't make any Banelings. Baneling Nest isn't that expensive to make.
Yeah, I mean, if it is heavy on charge lots, then that's going to be pretty powerful. The thing is, there is this tech switch into Colossus. He's getting Psystorm as well, which you pretty much would expect anyways to see the Psystorm at least.
He's got a few Archons too, which Banelings never want to fight. So this is just a ton of damage coming off this ramp, and the Protoss army is a bit out of position. But once he gets in over here with those Colossi, yeah, he's going to have to get out of there. He's not sticking around against this.
You know, one problem we do have right now is the complete lack of sentries.
Yeah, that's true.
Sentries are very important against Banelings, and they're just, well, they're very important against Protoss in general, but especially when there's speed Banelings rolling at you, you really need to be able to hold those back.
I don't know if he saw it. I think if he did, he would warp in some sentries right now. He might be on
either that or
gates.
Maybe an additional Archon. Archons obviously can tank super well against this, but...
Storm is good against everything that's in this army, except the 16 Roaches, but I mean, that's not a massive amount of Roaches here. Sends a Roach up to scout. Wants to see how many High Templar there are, perhaps and where they are.
Still a very strong composition here from Billowy.
Yeah, I think Billy could defend this with good Storm.
Yeah,
oh god, Time Warp.
Pretty similar to the function of the Force Field.
That's true. Okay, good fungal here. There are the Storms. The first one goes down. The Baneling's really struggling to find the right angle to engage here, and I don't think he can actually commit here, right?
Yeah, he has to roll back. This is not going to work out for him.
That was a really good fungal to help him retreat. Is he going to try to engage on this?
Yeah, it looks like he liked the fungal and decided to turn around, but that definitely wasn't the right play there. Even though he got a few good fungals, it feels like it was obvious that this Zerg army was never actually going to kill anything. Like, the fungals basically got shields off of his opponent.
Yeah.
Like, those actually didn't gain him much. It was a good retreat fungal, as you said, though.
Yeah, I thought that was the plan there.
So.
Maybe it probably was the plan, and then he was like, oh, maybe I can capitalize on this. See, even this is a bit risky. I mean, he is transitioning back at home, getting more upgrades, Ultralis Cavern, and getting some Vipers, but he's going to probably lose these Infestors, and that's what I don't like.
Yeah, well, if he was attacked right at this second, he would have been in trouble as well, so I think slowing him down and maybe dealing a little bit of damage isn't too terrible.
The Roach switch is pretty nice, so he's got a lot more Roaches in his army now.
Definitely going to help out against Archon Zealot. Colossus compared to what he had already.
I think he might just die here, though. He doesn't quite have enough of anything.
Yeah. I mean, he's lost a few armies in very questionable engagements.
I mean, he's not going to be able to afford any Ultralisks here. No. So that's not going to help him.
Well, even if he got Ultras, there's still a good amount of Void Rays left over.
Yeah.
That's 6 Voids. There's still an Immortal in the army.
He doesn't have
there's
any
2 Archons in the
left.
army as well. There's like... Ultras don't actually do much against this comp.
He doesn't have any answer for the Void Rays besides Hydralisks, which are going to die to so many different things. The Colossi, the Stalker damage, the Archons, the Storms, like...
Well, he's maxed out. You know what? The Vipers could be what swings it, but I don't know if he's going to be able to.
Well, he's trying. Here we go.
Well,
Blinding
actually,
Clouds here are pretty good, actually.
Yeah, he uses up all his High Templar energy, so this does give him a chance.
It still looks like it's just way too much.
Yeah.
He just walks through the Blinding Cloud, finishes off the rest of these units. Good attempt at hold there, but Symbol is going to die here. His upgrades aren't finishing. Huge group of Zealots coming in to finish the game. Spoiler Crawler coming up, and no, that's all she wrote for this one. Well, Billowy, really crazy, awesome game 1. The next 2 games were solid plays out of him. I feel like more mistakes out of Symbol than success out of Billowy in the third game.
This last Symbol game, there were some questionable things, like the Hydra attack at the third base was... I don't know, he didn't try to retreat, he didn't target stuff down specifically, it was just like sending an army to die. Like, Billowy will trade a Geyser and a Gateway to kill your army off and still have 7 Void Rays left over every time.
Yep.
Definitely some mistakes there from Symbol, so hopefully he can pick it up in the losers match a bit.
He
is one of our top players.
Really, really upset in that camera shot.
I think he realized, he looks at that game, he's like, what was I doing exactly? I'm definitely better than that.
Yeah, well, that was a tough one for sure. Well, we are going to go into our second Protoss versus Zerg after a quick commercial break, so stay tuned.